Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors in Winston, Chester. Glad you're here this Tuesday morning, the day after a 3-day weekend for a lot of folks. Hope you had a great time in the outdoors. I know a lot of folks were cold, had a lot of fires going, but anyway, we're here this morning. We're glad to bring you another new edition of Panhandle Outdoors. We're looking at our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center. Still cold. Low tonight is going to be 27. I want to give those degrees. I'm talking about right here in Panama City. I know you folks inland, all the way up in the northern part of the Panhandle, it's a lot colder. So just be aware that it's going to be usually about 5 degrees colder on mornings like this. Now we're going at a water temperature. It's staying the same. It's been 55, 56 as it is this morning for about 2 weeks now. So it's going to get a little bit lower. In February, will be the lowest Gulf water temperature. Then it'll start warming back up. Our moon phase brought to us by Sandhill Seafood up on Highway 77 just past Bozeman. We're looking at it. We're doing our Monday moon forecast today because we had that video yesterday. I hope you enjoyed that video. And I was telling Jeff, it just amazes me how fast those kids grow. I mean, look back and wow, it was just amazing to me. I know y'all say the same thing about your kids, your grandkids, your nieces and nephews, and it's amazing. New moon tonight, not tomorrow night or not last night. Tonight's going to be the new moon. We've got that blue moon, another full moon coming in January the 31st. This is an excellent time to get in the woods, okay? Cold weather, new moon. Just tell your boss you got to get off early. You're going to come in late because that big buck is out there waiting on you. I can promise you they're moving around right now, especially in a lot of especially hot spots. They're out there. And you'll see. I'll have some pictures Friday to prove to you, or maybe a Saturday or Monday. Okay, the tide chart, I still don't have the chart yet. We're having a little bit of trouble getting it, but anyway, the tide this morning, have a low tide at 6:43 and a high tide at 8:29. This evening is still coming in, and about every 2 weeks we have that rotation. Okay, marine forecast north-northwest at about 7. Let's take our break and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Just on a side note, Jeff and I were just talking, there are a lot of folks out there getting the flu. Just to, y'all be real careful out there, wash your hands a lot, just eat healthy and drink a lot of water. But it seems like I've seen a lot more flu throughout this area than I have in a very long time. So anyway, you got to be healthy to be in the outdoors, so take care of yourself. I flashback, I got some pictures. We're going to pick some pictures up tomorrow. I want to get in this little section here. When I was first started doing the show with Captain Roy and I were doing it together, I always did a little segment, about once a month, a little segment on our local history as far as the waterfront fishing, and it was very well received. And so over the years, it seemed like I've just sort of gotten out of the habit, and I realized something I thought about a New Year. I wanted to get back in the habit of just doing a little blip on our local history. Most of it coming out of the book and all, just some little interesting side tidbits that I think you'll find interesting, because I still go back and find it interesting. And for case in point, I got tickled. I was thinking about, the new transportation, higher transportation is Uber, where you just call someone up off the list and get a ride from the airport to the beach or wherever you're going. So long before there was Uber, we had a transportation system here in this area. And this is funny because I also want to keep in mind, today I've got 3 little pages out of my book. I'm on a flashback about 100 years ago, what was going on in this area around 100 years ago. And what we don't realize, you look at our waterway system and all in the Choctawhatchee Bay, the St. Andrew Bay, and Apalachicola Bay, we had these little communities that sprung up all along the bay system because they could fish and have make a living off that or provide for the family. So they didn't really go by roads. They went from boat from one community to another community and back and forth. So you can imagine, especially people like West Bay or over in Choctawhatchee Bay, the people in Niceville, everybody down in Niceville and all, that's a hub. People come up that Niceville, Crestview area instead of actually coming down to the coastline like they do now, just the opposite. So anyway, the transportation was by boat, and case in point, and when I ran across this, when I do my research, reading those on microfilm, cranking out those on microfilm day after day, and by the way, I read over 100 years worth of microfilm newspaper articles. it was fascinating because it gave just a reflected what was going on. But this picture here, this gives a reflection of the transportation. I did a whole page on transportation on the right-hand column. Okay, well, let's start with the picture first. The picture was taken. This is basically our transportation. This is taken down in St. Andrew, looking back toward, say, back behind that would be like the Shrimp Boat Restaurant, and those right there along the waterfront. That's where this was taken by Captain Tom Masker, who took a lot of pictures. It was 1916, and this is where they were getting ready to go up to West Bay or go over there to East Bay somewhere, and you see the ladies in the dresses and all. It was a big deal. That boat was called the Lulu. I thought that was a neat picture, especially from 100 years ago. So that's how they would, that was the transportation boats. Now on the right-hand column, I'm gonna pull this over. This is a register. These are people that, okay, they had, look at here, all these names. These are all boats, okay? All these are boats except the bottom three. See the bottom three down there, automobiles? There's a Ford, a Halliday, and another Ford. But now look at all these other passengers. All these are boats. The Fortuna. I won't read all of them, but I'll read some of the captains because these names are still around. Captain Otway Ware, he captained the Fortuna, which took 30 passengers. Go all the way down. The three brothers were famous from West Bay. They did a mail route. Grover Rogers, he was one that did that. But look at the capacity of some of these boats. Look down right here, middle of the page. The Echo, Captain Blackwell, the capacity was 100 passengers. That's a pretty good, good sized boat there. The Navajo out of Southport, the H.L. Ellis, the Ellis family is still up there. I went to some of these names, Whitecap, but most of these boats will hold 25 to 35 people. All the way down the bottom, Captain Zach Knowles. Next to the bottom, Captain O.S. Anderson. And all those are just very, very interesting right there. Anyway, just the passengers hauling people around, they went by, not by taxis, but this was Uber ahead of its time on the water. So I just thought that was fascinating. A couple more. The next page I want to show you, back 100 years ago, just catching hook and line, okay? May 18th, 1916, just read about it. This was at the ice plant dock. There's an ice plant dock on the right-hand side. That was a big deal, that ice plant, okay? So Tuesday evening, Mr. Willard Pratt, that's the Pratt family on the east side of town, he caught, listen to this, caught 2 redfish weighing 23 pounds. Folks, that would have won the redfish tournament. All right, same day, Mr. Tyler caught 5 redfish in 25 minutes. Thursday, Dick Barney caught a 10-pound ling. This is off a dock now. And it goes on down, Mr. Pratt caught 102 hardtails. I don't know what they did with those hardtails. They might have ate them, but anyway. So fishing is great. And then the other one I wanted to show you, let's see, I have one more right here. Basically, this picture here, I'm not going to read you the whole story. This is Raphael. This picture was taken over at Tyndall. If you could picture the runway at Tyndall, where if he would just stay on the runway across and keep going across Highway 98, that open field over there by the water, that's where they did a salting of their mullet and all. And the guy, the second from right, okay, that story right there, okay, he's got a beard there. He was not one of the guys, and I had Captain Coy Raphael at 94 years old told me the story of that guy. His dad, he was fishing with Captain Coy's dad, and what he was actually a government agent. And they were, back then, as part of the U.S. Marshal, the early years of the U.S. Marshal Service. And this guy had done something bad up north, and he ended up down here obviously working fishing boats and all. And this guy from the government came down and spent the whole year, the whole season, fishing with the Raphael guys and all, just getting to know them and all, and just hanging around till they found his man. And in fact, that's what Captain Charles Jackson Raphael told his son Coy. He said, well, he said, that guy, he found his man, and that's the man he was looking for. So I know I'd love to know the details of how he found him and all that, but he obviously got him and took him back to as part of the U.S. Marshal Service. So anyway, that's an interesting story. That's about 100 years ago there too. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Along the same line now, thinking about this was the past, this last segment. So let's go to the future, what the future holds. And I always look at the technology, and I chuckle thinking about those old timers I just mentioned that made a living off the water. could you imagine, would they be mind-boggled now seeing all the electronics out and all the things? And for instance, what I want to show you now is of course, I've talked about this before, some apps and all. On this right here is called okay, let me get to it right here. This is I'm going to show, if I can get to a fish apps, okay. I'll go back to the menu. Fish apps. Anyway, the fish apps. What I wanted to get at was, I'm gonna pull out some right here. This is before I get to it. One of our viewers back during Christmas holidays sent me an idea. It's a good idea. He said, "Coach, why don't you just feature a fish on occasion? Just pick out one fish and feature, and so talk about the fish, or where it's found, how to catch them, and the edibility and all that kind of stuff." And I said, "Great idea." So I was gonna give an overview. And I started looking at it, and one of the things, first thing I went to was this fish app. It was called Fish Rules, and I've showed it to you before. And for instance, I'm gonna just pick out a couple of. These are some of the fish I'm gonna feature later on. The amberjack. This tells you the season. Of course, it's closed now. And then if you turn it to the side, it'll show you some pictures of it. This is the amberjack itself. So this is a great app. And again, it tells you about the little bone is curved. See how that bone is curved right there? That's how you can tell it's an amberjack. So, and I was thinking, looking at this last night, those old timers, I'm gonna scroll on through it. There's so many fish here in the Panhandle we can catch. Then it goes all the way down. I was gonna pick out something else. The black drum. We talk about the black drum here. So here's a picture of it. It's what we catch off the bridge a lot. You can catch 5, minimum size is 14. Season's open. Turn it to the side. This is how you tell. You can see it sort of looks like a sheep head, but that back, see how the back is arched up a lot, and the little chin bars, those little things hanging, and this is how it looks right there. That's a black drum, okay? And that's how it looks. All right, now, so, and let's go on down. I just want to pick out four or five here that we're going to be working on. I know everybody loves catching a grouper, okay? You look how many different groupers we have in here, all through here, okay? All those groupers. Now, the scamp grouper, a lot of people catch we just call them scamp here, but it is part of the scamp, the grouper family. You can catch 4, and this is how it looks, okay? Dark spots that formed little blotches on them. This is excellent eating right here. Okay, now let's move on. Let's see, that's a huge grouper family. Then we get on down into the grunts and all, the hogfish. Now we catch some hogfish here, and they're sort of strange-looking fish, but the edibility is good. You can catch 5, 14 inches, and you can see they're once you pull them up off the side of the boat, you know exactly what you have right there, the hogfish. And with Captain Bobo, sometimes we'll go on those trips, and always somebody catching some hogfish. All right, and like I said, we're going to once a month or so, we're going to feature some of these different fish and all. Of course, a marlin. Let's look at the silver mullet. The silver mullet. I know a lot of y'all. Okay, the silver mullet, you catch 50 of those, and we all know what a mullet looks like and all, but the aggregate limit is 52. And then, let's see, you got the pompano. We showed the pompano permanent. We've shown that a lot, so you know the difference on that, okay? And then the pogies, the red drum, okay, the red drum, and we all know about the red drum. This is one of the most popular fish. You can catch 1. Minimum size is 18, that's slot 18 to 27. We all know about, most people call it redfish, but they call it, okay. And then it's definitely going to talk about what we call a speckled trout, okay. They also call it a spotted sea trout. And of course 5 and 15, and that is a good, that's one of our, probably the most popular fish we have right here is the speckled trout. And then get into sharks. There's all kind of sharks through here. It's amazing. One of the toughest ones to catch. I want to show the tiger, but the nurse shark. Let's go back up to the nurse shark. I've caught these before. Those things just sort of hang on the bottom, and these are hard to pull up. They're heavy, but a nurse shark. you can always tell a nurse shark by, to me they look what I call a softer looking fish. They crush stuff with they don't have a real sharp teeth, but it's a crushing kind of teeth. And you can just tell them it's a long tail and a lower lobe on the tail. So the sharks, there's a lot of sharks out here, okay? And then the spinner, because a lot of spinner sharks, and these are fun fish to catch. And again, you can only catch one of them, and the spinner, well, you tell about them a lot of times, they're just going to jump up and start. They don't actually have a picture of it. But anyway, they just get up and they're active, and they got sharp teeth too. And let me see if I can find our tiger shark. All right, right here. Okay, the tiger shark, that's one of the most prevalent. Okay, read about this. Unlawful to harvest or possess. Okay, they're protected. They've been targeted so much by so many different fishermen and all, but you can tell them that they look like the shark that we see on TV and a lot of them and all. That's a mean-looking shark, and you got to release those. They've really been hammered pretty hard. Okay, and you tell a lot of times. Look at that tail, how that tail sort of goes back, and you can't tell right there. But anyway, you can tell by the tail. So, all right, so that's the sharks, and of course snappers. We got a lot of snappers, and look at all the different snappers in here. Okay, the lane snapper. Okay, the lane snapper. Okay, there's it. 8 inches. Okay. That's what we catch a lot of lane snapper here, and beeliners. Catch a lot of those. Okay, so enough of those. I just wanted to show you, and what we're going to do about once a month or something, is pick out one of those species that we catch in the area and really delve into it, different ways to catch them and all, and all. So anyway, that's a good suggestion from one of our viewers. All right, let's take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look at our fishing game time today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers down in Port St. Joe. We're looking at only one time today, right in the middle, 11:35 to 1:35. An excellent time to be in the woods, I can promise you. And speaking of excellent opportunities, you look at your odds on winning, they're really strong, especially early in the year. So we've got some more names to add in here. Okay, Marilyn McGeechee from Clarksville. David McGeechee, Clarksville, good message there when you sent that to me. Don Clemens, Bluntstown. Margaret Clemens, Bluntstown. Calhoun County folks, glad to have you. Sean Hahn, Southport. William Barker, the Funiac. Nancy Barker, the Funiac. We got a lot of viewers up in the Funiac. Versi Cruz up in Westville. Mary Cruz, Westville. Tom Martin. Good to hear from Tom and John Martin. Bill Jones up there, William Bill Jones in Alpha. Okay, Ernest Regadio, Southport, the Regadio family. Jolene, Joe Regadio, Southport. Ernie, okay, the patriarch of the family. Mark Calhoun. Let's see, we got Dorothy Haney, Parker, James Haney Parker. Marcus Parrish, big outdoorsman there. Anthony McGehee, and let's see, Brenda Davison Chipley, and one more, Ken Davison Chipley. Now, if a day or two, if I haven't called out, give us some time. Sometimes it's a delay. If I haven't called out your name in a day or two, give me another couple of days to get caught up. They still got some more coming. If I haven't called out your name, touch base with me again. We'll do them a little bit at a time, okay? Now, I wanted to mention, we're right smack dab in the middle of the rut season and all, and we think about different things and all. One of the first things you think about is your safety in a tree stand, what kind of tree stand. So I've got some pictures that we have of some local tree stands. I've shown some tree stands, different areas and all, but these are all here in the Florida Panhandle, and I just want to show you some of them. This is in the Panama City hunting. This is just a commercial tree stand here. You can get at the store, and no need to try to build something like this, because I think they told me this is only like $250, and it's got a lot of good material in it. So anyway, that's just one of the frame you look at. To me, this is something I want to get to. I've got a couple like this, but you never have enough. And this is the same tree stand and how it looks out in the woods and all, with a cover around it, and it's pretty high. I don't know if I want to be quite that high, but it's according to where you are. But that looks good right there. And then And then a lot of homemade tree stands, and nothing wrong with that. If you have the carpenter skills and time to do it and material to do it, this is a nice tree stand. This belongs to Scott Pennington. Okay, Scott Pennington. And look at the inside. I'm talking about comfortable. Look at that. Look at that trim work. That's like a little condo right there. We always joke about these condo stands here. You're looking at one right here. Look at the light. You can sit there and read a book. Okay, well built, Scott. Okay, let's see now. Here's another one. This netting, I like what they did here, how the netting goes all the way down instead of just stops right there, because it sort of breaks it up more in the outdoors. Okay, that's a good one right there. And here's one on the ground. Okay, ground blinds. This is a homemade ground blind, and I've made me some homemade blinds, and they're a lot of fun to do if you have the time to do it. And it's always fun with somebody else helping you, because you can joke with them and all. And this is okay. First of all, look at the location. You look at this is a great idea. You're looking right down a lane. Again, this is homemade. Okay, got a good stand there. I'm sure that's some good. It's like me. If you got some good scrap 2x4s and all, put them together, and there you have it. That's been there. They raised it off the ground. It looks like previously. And look at the location of this. Okay, this is Chris Allen, and that's in a swampy area, and that's a great location right there. And I guess you just get to it with waders or maybe even a boat. But I like that swamp. That's a swamp stand. So this is again, these are all local. These are all local stands there, 3 or 4. If you have one you want to send me and feature here on Panhandle Outdoors, how you did your stand and where you located it, all that would be neat, because they're creative and all. I just love it. They're like little tree houses when you're a kid and all. So it's a lot of fun. So anyway, we're going to start wrapping things up. We've got some guests coming up next couple of days. We're going to talk about the giveaway we had and who won the youth hunt. There with Moon Phillips. We got some folks coming on talking about that. So anyway, big week planned on Panhandle Outdoors. A lot of good things going on. So you make sure you have a great day at work. Enjoy the folks you work with and all, and always be positive around them. And as always, always ask you to do something good for your fellow man. And any way you can help them, it'd be just a good thing to do. All right, you have a great day. Enjoy the great outdoors, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.